While most financial advisors advocate for tips like money saved is money earned, they can't deny that the true value of money comes from what you do with it. In other words, an essential part of personal finance is knowing how to spend your bucks practically and identifying which things you should focus your resources on. Instead of chasing money, knowing where you're spending it will allow you to actually start making a difference in your financial situation. Now, we're not abolishing the idea of budgeting here, but looking at it from a different angle. Here are 12 things you should spend your money on. Number 12, life insurance. Being able to set money aside for a safe future is one of life's greatest privileges, especially considering that the vast majority of people live from paycheck to paycheck. That said, this privilege doesn't rely just on your existing wealth. Even those with modest or average incomes decide to start investing money for their future in the form of life insurance. There are a number of important reasons why life insurance is worth paying for. Firstly, it brings you peace of mind that in case of any sudden incident leading to your death, your dependents, such as your spouse, children, or anyone else who relies on your income, will be taken care of. Life insurance has many more advantages, like lifetime coverage and the ability to borrow against the cash value, not to mention accelerated benefits. These allow you to receive a fixed percentage, ranging from 25% to a total 100% of your permanent insurance's death benefit even before you die, in case of a fatal medical condition such as cancer, stroke, or end-stage renal failure. Even if your dependents don't need your money for financial support, a life insurance policy can save you at this stage by allowing you to pay your medical bills and stay as comfortable as you possibly can during your last few months. A vast majority of consumers assume they don't need to spend on life insurance just because they're young. Investing in life insurance as early as possible will save you a lot of money in the long run, thereby benefiting your overall financial plan. Number 11, proper footwear. Our feet are the foundation of our everyday lives, and every solid foundation must have the right support. The impact of proper footwear is often underestimated by a massive majority of people, who fail to realize that the kind of shoes you purchase go far beyond your appearance. Investing in a quality pair reduces the likelihood of foot injuries, ankle strains, chronic backache, and permanent effects on posture. You'll also experience better comfort throughout your daily routine, so spending enough on supportive, good quality shoes does matter. Number 10, education. Without a doubt, education is one of the most powerful investments you'll ever make for your future. Evidence shows that, on average, each additional year of education boosts a person's income by more than 10% and increases a country's GDP by almost 20%. Although a degree doesn't guarantee a bright future, it does help you get ahead with many resilient and essential jobs. And even research shows that a college education is often associated with higher lifetime earnings on average. Number 9, helping the less fortunate. According to Anne Frank, no one has ever become poor by giving. And in reality, this is actually true. Aside from the fact that lending someone a helping hand is a good deed, there are many personal benefits to giving charity. Studies conducted by neurologists suggest that giving social support to others reduces stress-related activity in the brain, decreases blood pressure, and releases endorphins, which ultimately elevate self-esteem and induce feelings of fulfillment and happiness. Depending on your income and socioeconomic status, you can always make a donation or help ease someone's financial burden. Start with identifying a person or a cause looking for monetary support and incorporate it into your budget. Number 8, experiences. It may seem like vacations are unlikely things to advocate spending your money on, but in reality, travel constitutes an experience instead of a thing. Research shows that spending a part of your income on experiences promotes mental well-being and contentment. Splurging cash on materialistic things, on the other hand, only raises the bar on your expectations with each new purchase, and instills the ever-present need to get something even better. Most materialistic things that you spend money on lose their significance over time, but experiences don't fade away drastically. Instead, they stay with us and help us form our identity, and our life essentially becomes the culmination of such unforgettable experiences. Spending money on vacations is also essential because traveling broadens your worldview and makes you a more engaging person, which can have multiple benefits in both your personal and professional life. Number 7, decent work clothes. Instead of buying a lot of mediocre quality clothes, purchase a few items from reliable brands that fall in your budget. Build a boutique that contains only the most finely woven fabrics as your work clothes, even if you choose thrifty clothing for casual wear. Investing in decent work attire can improve your reputation at work, help you create a lasting good impression on your employer and colleagues, and it might even alleviate your professional standing. Number 6, a decent kitchen knife. Abraham Lincoln once quoted, "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe." That's the importance of a tool, without which you can't ace a task flawlessly, no matter how skilled you are. Ask any culinary professional, and they will certainly tell you that the key to preparing a first-class meal is access to the right tools and their accurate usage. Without a doubt, knives are truly essential to the art of cooking. Chopping herbs, slicing vegetables, and de-seeding fruits all require a knife. Whether you're an amateur cook or a culinary expert, perhaps the most frustrating hindrance in the kitchen is a knife that fails to perform efficiently. Therefore, one of the best things to invest in when you're an adult is a decent kitchen knife, which in most cases is an all-rounder chef's knife. Since it's basically the backbone of your kitchen tools, it deserves careful consideration. A quality chef's knife set allows you to perform all your chopping tasks not just perfectly, but also in a breeze with sufficient comfort and safety. Number 5, nutrition and health. Health is priceless, yet many of us neglect it in favor of short-term gains. It's crucial to not hold back when it comes to spending money on nutrition and healthy food. If you have sufficient money to get subscriptions and buy your favorite items from the latest sale, you definitely have enough to spend it on healthy ingredients and groceries that will benefit not only your physical, but mental health too. Number 4, car safety. It's definitely worth buying the safest car you can comfortably afford. Turns out, automobile accidents are one of the leading causes of death and injuries in most countries, including the US, where car crashes are responsible for nearly 38,000 deaths and serious injuries to nearly 4 million people every year. These statistics are sufficient to prove why it's so crucial to invest in car safety and purchase a vehicle that's well equipped to keep you protected against road accidents and its consequences. Number 3, real estate. If your only experience investing in property involves paying your home's monthly mortgage, you might want to consider expanding your real estate portfolio. After all, real estate is one of the most powerful wealth building tools and is often considered the best investment. Number 2, optic and oral care. Perhaps it's time to throw away that $5 toothbrush and replace it with the best sonic toothbrush with UV sanitizer that not only does the job at a much faster rate, but also ensures better oral health. Spend your bucks on a mouthwash, regular dental checkups, and don't forget to floss. After all, you can't grow back your teeth or gums. Same goes for your eyes. Invest in sunglasses with UVA and UVB protection alongside anti-blue ray lenses that shield your eyes from harmful rays emitted by digital screens. Spending money on the best quality eye care also reduces the risk of eye strain, cataracts, and long-term vision problems. And number 1, mattress. If you knew that you would spend nearly 1/3 of your life sleeping, it'd make more sense why it's absolutely necessary to get the most comfortable, most supportive mattress that falls in your budget. A quality mattress lasts for years and ensures that you sleep peacefully every single night. This, in turn, improves your overall health and well-being by allowing you to de-stress, relax, and recharge for another day. All in all, these 12 things are worth spending a premium on for better quality of life. Today, the middle class is shrinking at a noticeable rate, according to almost every survey and statistics on the topic. While it's an open question as to why this particular class is a vanishing breed, defining middle class remains a challenge. For most people, having a job that can comfortably, not extravagantly, support a family summarizes the concept. But there are several other lifestyle benchmarks that define middle class status. Here are 9 signs you're in the middle class. Number 9, you take family vacations. Family vacations are a middle class staple. Having enough disposable income to take your family on vacation a few times per year is a major benchmark that denotes you're in the middle class. While the upper class goes on extravagant solo trips, the lower class is too overworked to have the time or money to afford a vacation. The middle class falls exactly between these two. So, being able to take time off from work to visit an inexpensive vacation spot has become a key social marker of the American middle class life. These expertly budgeted family vacations are highly prioritized in middle class households since it's the only time when people in the family get to decompress from work. Not to mention the fact that they also utilize the vacation as a bonding tool. Also, with 4 or 5 people carpooling, sharing rooms, and traveling together, family vacations don't cost as much as a couple's retreat or solo travel, especially if you consider all the cost cutting strategies the middle class expertly uses. They know it's not necessary to take a fancy Caribbean cruise or a costly African safari to have a break from everyday life. They can simply go to the beach with their family, visit the national parks, or take a classic family road trip. As the economy continues to improve, a higher percentage of the working middle class has started planning more vacations and spending more on affordable leisure as well. Number 8, you have a college education. It's true that many households are able to reach middle class income levels without a college education, but generally, when one thinks of middle class families, surveys show that the idea revolves around parents with a college degree who save for their children's college education as well. A college degree is so crucial to middle class families because it's often associated with higher lifetime earnings on average, although there's no guarantee that a college education will get you a high paying job. Still, for middle class parents, making sure their children get to attend university or college is a primary goal, one which they aren't willing to compromise on. Number 7, you're hesitant to use the expensive things you own. For a massive majority of the middle class, cutting unwanted expenses out of their monthly budget is an age old survival strategy. When you're living on a tight budget, you can hardly ever allow yourself to splurge cash on an expensive purchase, no matter how much you desire it. But once in a blue moon, middle class individuals do let themselves a bit loose, or save up enough to buy an expensive item, something that's often rare to spot in their list of possessions. Whether it's fancy cutlery, costly furniture, or new electronics, these people don't mind compromising on usability since they're too focused to make sure that their expensive purchase doesn't wear out too quickly. So if you're one of those people who drape covers around their new sofa set, save their branded outfit for a special occasion, or use their expensive china dinnerware only in front of guests, you're definitely in the middle class. Number 6, you have health insurance. According to financial advisors, medical emergencies and the debt that follows are among the major causes of bankruptcy, which is why the middle class is so prone to feeling the strain of healthcare costs. Reliable healthcare coverage continues to become more important than ever, especially due to increasing costs of prescription drugs and medical treatments. And in case of severe illness or injury, not being able to afford medical care and ending up in a tough financial spot instead is every middle class person's worst nightmare. This explains why securing health care and getting medical insurance for themselves and their families is one of the topmost priorities of the working middle class. As per reliable surveys, nearly 2/3 of adults said that health insurance was a necessary factor to be considered middle class. Many individuals obtain health insurance through their work, so it goes hand in hand with a secure job that comes with the middle class lifestyle. For larger families, however, taking one step further is necessary, allotting 10% or more of their savings to healthcare costs. Number 5, you have a secure job, but you're afraid to lose it. Having a secure source of income that enables you to afford food, shelter, clothing, and other expenses without relying on credit card borrowings or loans is another requirement for middle class status. If you're able to do that, chances are you're generating ample income and have attained the ticket to a middle class life. According to data collected during numerous surveys, most Americans believe that middle class individuals know the importance of job security more than those belonging to other classes. People belonging to middle class families fear losing their job or getting laid off, because at some point in their lives, they've experienced how hard it is to bear economical difficulties, like cutting back their household spending and having trouble paying bills. This is why having a secure employment status is so crucial to the middle class. not to mention the fact that it also determines their level of financial confidence for the future. Number 4, you have an emergency fund. After having a secure job, being able to save enough is usually seen as one of the top features of middle class lifestyle. Surveys revealed that nearly 80% of adults said that if you can't save up for emergencies, you aren't considered middle class, regardless of how much money you make. Any kind of emergency or rainy day fund that you can lean on during sudden financial troubles is critical to having and retaining middle class status. Most financial advisors and planners suggest having the equivalent of at least 3 to 6 months of basic expenses in your savings account, just as a safety net in case of a sudden job loss or unexpected medical or car repair bills. Without a rainy day fund, you can easily fall victim to the domino effect. Before you know it, one financial pressure will turn into many missed payments, rising credit card balances, and reliance on high interest payday loans. To avoid reaching this low point, most middle class people are habitual of building safety nets, just in case calamity strikes, which proves that the ability to manage and anticipate risks is a hallmark of middle class thinking. Number 3, you're willing and ready to invest. With an ample income and sufficient job security, it's easy to stay comfortable in one's current lifestyle, at least for the time being. But if you belong to the middle income quartile, there's a high chance you're willing to learn about your investment options sooner rather than later. This is because you understand the fact that unless you divert some of your earnings into investments that build up greater wealth in the future, your middle class status could erode eventually. With the stock market and almost every other asset class brimming with potential, it can be intimidating to dip your toe into the investing waters if you don't have any prior experience. But even for those just starting out, there's a wide variety of options to consider and choose from. It's a given that every type of investment has its upside and drawbacks, and the type that's best suited for you depends on a few factors. These include your risk tolerance, timeline, reason for investing, and the understanding level of certain markets. Some investments carry more risk than others, which is why beginners are often recommended to start with low-risk investments and then make their way up. Number 2, home and car ownership. Home ownership has long been considered a hallmark of the middle class, but today, it's not the number one benchmark that defines this class. In fact, recent surveys show that it's quite possible for you to rent and still be considered middle class. That said, millennials are likely to still associate home ownership with the American dream. If you do own a house, and it's undoubtedly your biggest asset, chances are you're in the middle class. Same goes for your car as well. In contrast, wealthy families belonging to the upper income quartile have less than 30% of their total wealth in their home or cars. And number 1, you're heavily focused on retirement saving. Besides healthcare coverage and emergency funds, retirement security is another goal the middle class remains fixated on. After all, it not only portrays financial success, but also gives you the assurance that decades of hard work have actually been fruitful. So, unsurprisingly, a massive majority of middle class people invest for their later years and even pat themselves on the back for being so financially responsible. However, just because middle class families naturally do a better job of saving for retirement than those below the poverty line doesn't always mean they're saving enough. With rising inflation, it has become increasingly difficult for most people to set sufficient money aside for their retirement years. As per relevant statistics, the percentage of families in the middle income quartile with a retirement plan falls below 50%, compared to more than 80% of those in the upper class. If you're truly in the middle class, most, if not all, of these 9 signs should apply to you.